Welcome to a day in the life of a machine learning engineer. After watching this video, you'll be able to describe the importance and requirements of each process in the life cycle of a machine learning model and name the processes that are more time-consuming than others. Now let's go through the life cycle of a machine learning model in a project that I am currently working on. To help increase business revenue, I have been tasked with creating and deploying a model that recommends similar products to what the customer has already bought. I have worked together with a client to come up with an end user's pain point.
As a beauty product customer, I would like to receive recommendations for other products based on my purchase history so that I will be able to address my skincare needs and improve the overall health of my skin.
Defining the problem or stating the situation is very important because I want to make sure that the machine learning solution I am providing is aligned with the client's needs. Now that I understand the client's needs, the next step is to begin data collection. I should determine what kind of data the company has and identify the sources it will come from. This could be user data such as demographics, purchase history, and anything related to completed transactions. I can also get the product data, that is, the inventory of products and what they do, their ingredients, how popular they are, their customer ratings, and so on. Further, I may look at other data that includes information such as users saved products, liked products, search history, most visited products, and so on. Then, I will go ahead and do some major transforming by wrangling, aggregating, joining, merging, and mapping the data onto one central source. This reduces the need to deal with multiple databases every time we need to pull data. The next step in the process is data preparation. Most of the time, data from multiple sources will contain errors, different formatting, and missing data. This process overlaps with the data collection process as they can be done in tandem. The area of focus here is preparing a somewhat final version of the data. I will need to make sure that the data is cleaned to filter out irrelevant data, extreme values are removed to avoid influencing the data set, missing values are removed or randomly generated, depending on what the missing data may mean, and that each data column is in the proper format. For example, dates should be in date formats, and strings should be properly identified. I may also need to create additional features. For example, I may need to calculate the average duration between transactions for each user and find which products they buy the most. Or, I may need a feature that identifies what kind of skin issues each product targets and assign them to each user. I can create plots to visually identify patterns, validate the data based on information that the beauty product subject matter expert has given me, and do some correlation analysis to identify what variables or features are very important to the user's buying habits and needs. This is called exploratory data analysis. I can also identify how I plan on splitting the data for training and testing. For example, do I want to randomly split the data or use the most recent transaction as a test set? In this example, I decided to put the most recent transaction in the test set and make sure that there was at least one transaction by the same user in the training set. In the model development step, I will go ahead and build a machine learning model. Realistically, I try to leverage as many pre-existing frameworks and resources as possible, so I don't create anything from scratch. For this task, I will use a technique called content-based filtering. This technique finds the similarity between products based on product content. For example, if someone is using a cleanser with lots of water, it is likely that the user has dry skin and will want a moisturizer that is highly moisturizing as well. One of the steps I might take here is to create a similarity score of the products a user has purchased and rank them to other products. I might recommend the most similar product while bearing in mind that there may be other factors that could come into play. For example, I might notice that the user has searched for products without particular ingredients, so I want to make sure that we are not recommending a product that they absolutely won't use. I would also use a technique called collaborative filtering that uses the user's data. Here, I am creating similarities between two users based on how they view a product. For example, I can create a similarity based on how two users rate their product. First, I group users into a bucket based on their characteristics. This could be age, region, and skin type, products the users rated, and/or purchased. Then, I can take the average ratings for existing members and assume that the new user will be somewhere around the average, and recommend a product based on what others have rated highly. The final model will be a combination of the two techniques. After I am done building the model, I will go ahead and test that the model is performing well and that recommendations are representing what the users want. This is called the model evaluation step. The initial stages of model evaluation will involve me tuning the model and doing some testing on the data set I had kept earlier for testing. Once I am satisfied with the results, I will further evaluate the model by experimenting with the recommendations on a group of users and asking for their feedback. The feedback will include asking the group of users to rate the recommendations and collecting data on the number of people who clicked and bought the recommended products, along with any other necessary metrics. Now that I am done with building and testing, the model is ready to go to production. For this project, it will be part of the beauty product app and website. While this is the last step, I still need to track the deployed model's performance to make sure it continues to do the job that the business requires. Future iterations may include retraining the model based on new information in order to expand its capabilities. In this video, you learned that each of the steps of the machine learning model lifecycle is important to the success of the solution. After deployment, continuous monitoring and improving is required to ensure that the quality of the solution is maintained. Thank you for watching A Day in the Life of a Machine Learning Engineer.